Hello, 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 and welcome to another one line of code. Watashi wa one line desu. And we are looking out a window, I was about to say mirror, somewhere in Schenectady. No, where are we looking? I don't like it when cameras move, but at least this one is moving slowly, and I do like the scene that it's showing. So we are looking out a window in Hampshire, UK, on sometime in February 2024. 24? But anyway, hi Dukasoft. Pan right, we want to see the sun. No, we don't. We want to see the rains. Show me rain. Anyway, hi, welcome in. Today I have been working. I'm doing the Irish John American voice. Today I've been working on stuff for my job and just having fun doing it. Renaming stuff, getting things cleaned up, making it look all pretty. Welcome to Icons 101. So I honestly, I say again, but the last time that I talked about this was maybe Wednesday of last week. I really don't know any good workflows for when you're putting together designs in Figma. But the way that I'm doing this is I'm going through and picking the icons that make sense. I'll show you how I'm doing that because we're going to keep working through our stream project redesign in Figma, which is on another tab, but I wanted to get this part done because it's the last thing that I needed to do with these icons, and I just want to get it done, you know? But while I'm doing that, how are all of you? How was your weekend? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. For those of you that actually don't work on the weekends, hope it was great. For those of you that did work on the weekend, I hope it was productive and you got stuff done that you wanted to get done. Yeah, my weekend was fantastic. I got to hang out with my wife as I do on the weekends because it's just so enjoyable. We watched Dune 2 over the weekend. Pretty freaking good. Pretty good. Gunna is now lurking. Thank you for the lurk, Gunna. That's hilarious. I really don't know how it comes up with that, but thank you for the lurk, Dukasoft. Noms. May you enjoy your foods. Copy. I'm almost done. I just got to go through every single one of these icons again and rename their icon name to the icon name that I want. That's hilarious. Okay, so before I do too much of that craziness, I want to actually, you know what? I am just gonna do, I don't know what that's gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rename them first and then replace them. So these are chevrons that I made myself, starting here. I don't like them, and I don't like the way that I have to resize them. So I went ahead and grabbed the chevron icons from Remix Icon, and I'll show you how I did that shortly, as mentioned before. So what I'm gonna do here is arrow down S, and then arrow down wide. arrow drop down. And these are the ones that I really want to use, are the arrow drop downs, because the way that I'm using this one is I'm squishing it horizontally and making it a little bit taller, and it just doesn't look right. So I'd rather have one that was intended to be for drop downs. And that's the whole reason I got all of these anyway, because I'm like, you know, I will probably use these in some at least one of the Rocky Mountain Wildlife Refuge applications. I was going to say arsenal, and I ended up just saying arse. That's drop left. Is that really arrow drop left? Interesting. Oops, I could have done two at a time. Arrow drop left. And so one thing that I learned while we were working on the redesign on, not learned, but one thing that I decided to start doing when we were working on the redesign on last Wednesday is identify the library that the icon that I'm using in these designs comes from, so that the developer has an easier time just saying, oh, I can just use that icon library and include it in CSS and use those icons. But then the next step that I took that I was working on today is also adding what the CSS class might be, or the way to identify that item, that icon from that library. That is such a weird. And then this is arrow drop up. Whatever. And then this is arrow left S. Arrow left wide. Arrow right S. Arrow right wide. Did I miss an A on that? Oh jeez, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. Like a magic. Hello, Emporium guy. How are you doing? Arrow up S. So this is the reason that I am not streaming my day job yet, even though I am at a point where we can start doing that. But I'm pretty much just working in Figma at the moment, not really redesigning, adding the UI for a feature, and I'm trying to do it the right way this time. But while I was doing it the right way, I'm like, how about if I just go ahead and set up my base library of colors? And when I say colors, I mean all the colors. The colors, the themes, the effects for some of the things, for all of the applications at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, which is the place that I am supporting currently. And I keep saying Rocky Mountain Arsenal, but every time I say Rocky Mountain Arsenal, just think in your brain Rocky Mountain Wildlife Refuge, because that's actually what it is. And you guys need to be replaced. Oh, that's what those were. Whoops. You guys need to be replaced by the actual Google material design. So I found these in both material design icons and Google material design. I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. And the rest of chat, Emporium guy wants to know, how are you? How are you, rest of chat? But yes, everything is definitely going well. Finally starting to feel like there's a groove that I can do with my normal workday. I hopefully won't have too many extraneous things added to my workday. But I really, really like the routine as it is now. Or as it has been going today. This will be my first week without things that I have to do, like returning equipment. I guess I still need to look for some replacements for for various things. I don't know how to word that. Okay, I'm gonna replace my chevrons real quick. My chevron usages, and that would be in drop downs. So you guys here, I would like for you to be, oh, this is not going to be good because it's going to resize them and everything. I would like for you all to be weird. I want you to be weird. Why aren't you guys the actual icons? Weird. Give me an, nope, not what I meant to do. Give me an icon, please. Like the chevron drop down. Or arrow drop down. I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna touch you. What? I'm gonna go to the drop downs and Control Shift R to replace. Good. Good. And you guys are currently text primary for dark skin, and you actually need to be reassigned to control text, except that this control text needs to be the dark mode version. Okay, cool. And I would like for you, no. Oh. How am I gonna do that? Okay, I would like you to be just a little bit smaller, please. How about 24 for now? Yeah, it still feels like it's too far away from the edge, but that's fine. We'll fix that. And the reason I didn't grab these two at first was because I was going to make them drop up. Hello, Disco. Happy Monday to you. For those of you in the US, happy Memorial Day. Because of the nature of my work, I did not take today off. Okay. Shift R. I want you all to be 22, 24. What size did I make you? 24. And everyone except for, oh, that's what's up with those. Okay. So those were supposed to be disabled. Okay. So all of you were control text, except for the ones on the right. Dagnabbit. So all of these, it's so hard to get to. Okay, you, not you, you, and you. Which one of you is dark? Oh, it's so hard to tell when it's like this. All right, you're light theme. You need to be dark theme. Control text. Dark theme, please. All right, and then you and you need to be control text. Control text disabled. Interesting. I'm using specifically text disabled when that might not be what I want to use for controls, because text disabled might look different for like a link than it does for a drop down, a control like this. But I'm obviously using text disabled. Especially in dark mode versus light mode, because like right now I do have these select lists, the drop down list styled. What's going on? Okay, styled the same pretty much on both, but I did separate them so that if I do decide to change the colors out for what controls look like in dark mode, then I just have one variable to update and then it's fine. Text disabled, light theme, text disabled, light theme. And what's going on with your label? Your label should be text primary? Really? Is that what I want to use and not control label? Ah, decisions to make, man. Decisions to make. Okay, but you are text disabled, you're text disabled, you're text primary, you're text primary. So these are pretty much the same thing as these, except with the label showing. The other thing that I would want is for you, and you to be arrow drop up instead. Because it's expanded and I want to show lit up. Does that happen in drop downs? Is that a thing? Somebody give me a drop down. I need a browser. Can anyone spare a browser? Anyone at all? No. Okay. So the arrow doesn't change directions when you do when you have a drop down. I don't know any websites. Well, let's just go here to the site that I'm working on the design for. So this is one of the many applications that I am now full-time maintaining. I'm so happy to be back to doing that. So this is what the application looks like in dark mode. This is my current progress for sketching it out, not even sketching it out, but designing it in Figma. So it's actually really quite close. I added the icon, the app icon up here. There isn't too much else that I did differently. Yeah, I don't think I made very many different choices. This thing was really fun to make. Oh, remake, I mean to say. When I say remake, this. So this is a .NET 6 version of the app, and this is .NET 8. So I've already upgraded this site to .NET 8, but I currently have it in test. So here's the app icon. I cleaned up this resizer, and oh man, it feels good. It's such a nice feeling resizer. I don't like that I allow it to go this small. But the things that I really like about it are the technique of having the drag start capture the pointer events. So even if I'm moving on a different display device entirely, it's still moving the element itself. And then if I let go somewhere over there, that element captures the on drag end. And so I'm no longer dragging. Oh, it feels so good. I don't want to stop doing that. You know, you make that thing that just makes you really happy and you just want to keep making it do the thing. That's kind of what this is like. Anyway, I'm working on this page here because we have this beautiful view of wells that were replaced by other wells. So we started with well number 37343 that got replaced by well number 37163 on this date. And so when we run reports, we need to be able to determine what well was active during that date range. And you guys remember me going through that whole thing. Hello, TBD Gamer. This is the results of that so far, but I want to make this entire process of adding a well change or doing any of the well history maintenance a lot easier for them. So right now you have this toggle between this well replaces or this well was replaced by. And then you type in the number and then you put the date, but then there's just going to be a lot of issues. Like here, if I try to insert one where this well was replaced by, and there's already, this well replaces, and there's already a previous well in here that it replaces, what to do? What to do indeed. So I need to make decisions like that. It would just be better to have an entire well system maintenance grid. And so I started to add a grid, and then that needed to be like, I just wanted to use the Fluent UI grid because I'm pretty sure I could make a grid now, but the last time that I tried making a grid was not very successful. This is the closest I've come to making a pretty decent grid. And so I have sorting with no, I don't have multi-sort. Why did I do the drop shadow thing? That is so distracting. In a different app, I added the multi-sort thing where you click on a column once and it sorts by that, ascending or descending, depending on whether you click on it. Click on the next column and then it adds it to your sort. So it'll sort by this one first, then the second one that you clicked, and then you can click on this one again until it removes the sort. Then this is the first. Anyway, it's kind of an annoying sort thing. So I have better ideas on how to handle multi-column sort. But anyway, TBD Gamer is here. Hello, TBD Gamer. Shout out to TBD Gamer. If you guys do not know TBD Gamer, he is an amazing app dev who is dipping his toes into game dev because it's fun, because he wants to learn it, because he wants to create a game that he wants to play. And so on Mondays and Tuesdays, he can be found either working on that game dev in Godot or in the community project, Water Drink Water, which is an app where you can track how much water you drink. You set a goal for yourself, share progress with friends, and encourage each other, not compete against each other, but encourage each other to drink water and meet their goals. But then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he works on an app that he has called Liquid Sky, which is a project management application that is geared towards developers. There's a lot of stuff in our current project management applications that's very DevOpsy, project managery, shareholder, stakeholder, whatever they're called, stakeholdery, and it's just so much extra noise, and he just wants to strip it down so developers get to see the things that they care about while they are working on features and fixing bugs and just making their app. So anyway, that's it. That's my spiel. And if you're interested in seeing what he looks like now, here's a quick clip. Bang. I love the confused look. Hello? TBD? Did you fall asleep? Oh my goodness. That I don't know if it was just that the clip froze or if that was actually the clip, but it looked like you kind of just passed out for a second. Why always old clips? Also, I've lost weight. I see it. Well, that's why. It's to encourage you and to help you see your progress. I don't mind my old clips playing. It's kind of fun to see the different places that I was at. Like when I first started streaming, I wasn't using camera at all. Yeah, I don't think I was even using voice very much. Oh no, I could have sworn that I turned this thing off. The bot has not taken over anymore. Other people message. Other people message. There you are. But then little by little, I started adding the camera, and then I was back in the office again, and you would see me wearing my typical button-up shirt with khaki pants and my lanyard, and yeah. I just looked like a casual office goer. Anyway, so this is the design that I'm trying to work on. To get this page updated, cleaned up, easier to use. Not flow rates, performance. I'm sure that there was another one that had replacements. Yeah, but wasn't there one that had like a lot of replacements? Or is 2 the most that I have logged? Kind of looks like 2 is the most. I'm like, how would the user know? This is the thing that I'm harping on myself about is yes, I do have a title. Yes, they are, they have the underline when they have the focus, the cursor turns into a pointer. But if you are just coming to this page as a new user with no user guide, which kind of also sucks, how would you know that this is where you go to see the well history? So I want to make that super clear, maybe using actual words instead of just an icon, but needing to come up with a decent way of communicating that. So anyway, let me finish with these little last bits of icon cleanup. So I replaced all of the, I think that's the only place that I was using the chevrons, all of the chevron usage. So I can get rid of my crappy chevrons. And then I'll clean these up. Oh, yeah, I did say that I was going to show how I was getting the icons. So if you watched Wednesday's stream, you would have seen me go to Iconify in this icons area, and then picking the library that I wanted to use predominantly and then switching if needed. So I like using Remix icons for the RMA apps, and then I would just look for the thing I was looking for. Profound, isn't it? I would look for the thing I was looking for. And so I would take the SVG here after clicking on it, pasting it into here, doing all of the transformations to make it fit. Oh, I keep doing that with my cursor. I did it again. I need to move the mouse to the left when I do that. Cool. Change the color to text. Primary, dark by default. Rename it. Count circle. Remix icon. Oh, and now I've been adding, so this is going to be one one more annoying step. I've been adding the actual CSS name pretty much. Oh, and whether it's filled or not. Right. And so this is filled. Comes from Remix Icon. And this is the name that it would use. And then turn that into a component and then drag a droppy into here. There we go. We now have a Remix Icon version of this icon fill. And actually, you know what? Since there is a Remix Icon version, I am going to get rid of the Google Material Design because I really don't like using the Google Material Design icons or just material icons in general. And the reason why is because you typically have a container. So it's usually an I, which used to be the HTML for italicized, which is now EM for emphasis. Anyway, so you typically use an I for icons, an I element. Give it a class of material icons or material MI material. I don't really remember. And then the content will be the text for the icon that you want to use. And I did not like that. I did not like that at all. Since I'm replacing that one, I'm going to replace this one with the count line, but we'll do that one in the newer approach that I'm doing. So anyway, I would prefer to use Remix Icon, but for these, since these are already used in the app and it's what they're used to seeing, then I went ahead and used the Google Material Icons version of them since they only exist in Google Material Icons. Okay, so let me grab the account circle. So I was like, you know what? Instead of needing to go to the website, click on everything, and then copy the SVG, paste the SVG, switch back windows, blah, 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 is there a plugin for Iconify? Iconify. And look, there is. Oh, and I do want to bookmark this. So this is pretty much that Iconify website with the same functionality, filter by collection, is what they call it, and then filter it. So account circle. And instead of needing to click, copy the SVG, paste the SVG, you just drag and drop. You just drag and drop. And then the other cool thing is that it uses the name of the icon in here, which typically has the CSS class that you would put on here. It just has the RI in front of it. And I'm leaving the RI colon so that it's easier for me to find the remix icons, etc., etc. But yeah, I still do need to do the resize it, change the primary text color. I mean, I don't have to change the text color since I'm going to set it whenever I use it. And then prefixing icon, account, circle is not filled, comes from remix icon, and this is the original name, which I deleted the R on accident. By accident. On by accident. And then I move it in here. Let's go replace the usage. Well, I know that I'm not using the line version, so I delete that one now. And this would be in login display. Interesting that you guys didn't have any weird issues. So I want the one from Remix Icon called Account Circle. Filled. Ooh, did I not actually tell that thing that it was filled? What did I do? Filled true, icon library, remix icon. Not exactly sure why it didn't let me. Oh, because I misspelled it. I are good at spelling. Login display. Let's fix that. Okay, so we already have account circle selected. Remix icon filled. RA account circle filled. Cool. So I pretty much have two ways to select the icon that you want. Spling is hard. is hard. Very true. The first way is by using icon name, and the second way is by using the library's icon name. And so I figure it might be just as easy for me to find the icon by its library name as it is for me to pick the icon name as I define it, and then picking what library to show it from. And then also most library names do have the whether it's filled or not. Material design uses a prefix of outline dash, and then the rest of them are either baseline or nothing else in front of it. But there's all of these MDI ones that I need to fix the name of. But yeah, that's how I've been doing icons. I missed a couple. No, I didn't, because yes, I did. No. Aw, it's not going to let me select that one. That's account options. Okay. Remix icon. RI account circle fill. Perfect. Back to icons, and now I can explode this thing. Okay. So there we go. So when I get back to it, I just need to get the right names for the left right arrows, make sure that they actually are in material and remix icon, and then get the Google design icons for these. And that way I'm only using 2 libraries at the moment. Hopefully I don't add any more, but remix icon and material icons. And I like how this one is just called remix icon and the other one is called material icons. I'm not crazy, am I? I mean, I am, but remix icon versus Google material icons. Yeah. Fun. So that said, let's get to Financial Management Tracker, our stream project, which you are welcome to check out the open, I'm talking slowly because my bot's not ready yet, open source repo for this project. Just in time. Nailed it. So the open source repo for the project is on GitHub. You want to build someone complex? You want to build a text editor? That'll be fun. I hope you enjoy it and have good success. Definitely not something I'm interested in building. Let's do 4 and 4. No. Okay. 4 and 4, and may as well make the space, whoops, the space between each of these 4 as well. And that'll just give us more space to work with. Okay, so the financial management tracker, what it is is an application that will allow users to enter their financial transactions, and a transaction is a deposit, a transfer, or a payment. Where a deposit is money coming from some other. Yeah, you're more than welcome to contribute. I'll talk you through the code if you're interested in that. But where you get money from an external source into one of your tracked accounts. So the balance for one of your tracked accounts goes up when it's a financial institution, like a savings account. And it goes down when it's something like a credit card bill. So you can still have a deposit to a credit card account in this system if someone, like some account that you don't track, is the one that you use to pay for that account. Which one do I want to be logged in with? I want to be logged in with, oh, this is specifically for my Rocky Mountain packages. I have so many accounts now. But so that's a deposit. Transfer is moving money between two of your tracked accounts, and then payments is using one of your tracked accounts to move money out to a non-tracked account, in which I'm calling those payees. Not now. And in fact, let's go ahead and remove that from the build. That way we don't have to worry about waiting for that to build. Are you going to ask me every time? I think I need to update the username and password using the NuGet credential manager. I'll do that off stream. Blaz WebView doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I mean, why are you trying to do anything with the Maui project? Oh, because the files are open. Got it. Or I guess this is the WPF project. But it's because there were files open and I was unhappy with that. I'm pretty adept at financial mismanagement. I'm doing okay now. In my college years, ooh, shiny things. Let's buy it. In my college years, I definitely was known for spending, even just before that, I was known for spending money that I did not have. And I made a lot of really, really bad choices. It was just bad. You can buy shiny things, but after a while, I kind of just stopped buying things in general. And then when it came time for me to want to have a thing that I wanted to buy, like a computer, it's almost always a computer or a TV, I guess, for a new monitor. Then I actually had the money to do it. And it's crazy because I wasn't spending money on alcohol, on chips and whatever else all the time. And yeah, I just wasn't spending more than I had anymore. It is such a trap. Such a trap. But anyway, hello, Wugafa. Is it okay if I call you Wugafa? Or would you prefer me to call you something else? Okay, quick walkthrough of the financial management project. Do I even have the getting started information in the README? Why did you open over there? I have a browser over here, don't I? I do. Your name is an acronym, so however is most natural to you is fine. Well, Wakafa is definitely not natural, but it's what came out, so I guess it's what I'm sticking with. Getting started. Clone the repo, set up the database migrations as a startup project. set the connection string if you're not just going to use local DB. Do the migration either using the .NET CLI or by using the, what's it called? Package Manager Console. Why did I just leave it as package? That should be Package Manager Console. Choose your application type. So depending on how you want to launch the application, I have four different ways to launch the application. Well, and one of them has 3 in it. The first one is Blazor WebAssembly. And to launch it as Blazor WebAssembly, set the Finanman server as the startup project. Blazor server only, and this is .NET 6 at the moment, or 7. We upgraded to 7, I forgot. So we will upgrade this to .NET 8 when we come back to the actual code of the project and we start applying the redesign. But if you want to start it up as Blazor server only, then set the server only project as your startup project. If you want to start it using Maui as either Android, Windows, if you happen to have a Mac or some device that allows you to target iOS, then you have to edit the CS proj first and uncomment or add iOS and Mac Catalyst to your target frameworks, and then uncomment the supported platforms for iOS and Mac. And then set the Maui project as your startup, but you will also need to start the .server project because that will be the API for the Android version, the Windows desktop version, the WebAssembly version, Mac, iOS. So everything except for Blazor server will use the .server project as the API for it. Haven't done any C# since early version 6, I think. I want to show you code then, see if I can get you excited about it again, but I've been doing redesign for this lately. Let me show you the app then itself running. Oh, and then of course if you want desktop, then that's what this WPF one. This UWP one you can ignore because it was my attempt at trying to make a version that will run on the HoloLens, for example, and I didn't get very far into it, but it's there. So then your next question might be, okay, you have all of these application types. Does that mean that you're duplicating all of your code for all of these application types? Yeah, I'm not doing that. So what I did instead is I have a set of libraries. Some of them could be called core libraries if I group them together that way. Some of them could just be called satellite libraries or support libraries. I wouldn't know how to call them, what to group them as, so I just call them libraries. The first library that I want to point out is the database library that does all of the database migrations, and if you want to add to the tables, then you do that through here. If you want to change some logic in the context, you do that here. If you want to seed more data, that's in this data helper. And the only data that I'm seeding, I guess I am seeding quite a bit, are the account lookup lists, the things that populate drop-down lists. And I could have sworn that I populated one demo account, but apparently not. So not even a demo account. So I'm only populating the lookup list. And the lookup list, I usually use an enum for them, but these lookup lists will be changing as the user uses the application. So right now we only have account types of checking, savings, credit card, and cash. And I could make these hard-coded as the only ones that you could ever have. So these would be enums, and the ID would be the enum value. And then I could add things like the sort order if I wanted to, let the user reorder them later, and then the last updated date. Same thing with categories. Like, these are ways of categorizing your purchases from different places, either the purchased item, the receipt itself, or the payee, the people that are receiving payments. And then there are line item types, which are things like subtotal, tax, fee, surcharge. So, but here's an example of me having an enum dictate what goes into a specific table. So recurrence types, there is a set amount of recurrence types that the application will use. And these are them. And I'm storing them in the database as a table because I will most likely have another table, which we haven't set up yet, for recurring payments. And we may have created the table. Scheduled transactions is what I called it. And we will get a foreign key to that recurrence type, but then we need the extra rules for how to populate our upcoming transactions, so that we can do things like forecasting how much money you might have by the end of the month, by the end of the year, in 3 years if nothing changes and you're on this payment schedule kind of thing. Paying stuff off, how long will it take for me to pay stuff off? We could do an amortization schedule. Those things aren't too hard once you get the formula for it. But anyway, lots of things that we could do with it. So that's what the database has. Then there are the shared models that are used throughout the entire application. There's the, part of the shared models are the interfaces for things like performing a transaction. So you say, I am paying for something to this payee from this account with this amount of money, pay, and then the transaction service will find out, all right, I'm getting a dependency injected transaction service, so I'm going to use that concrete type to perform the transaction entry.add transaction, whatever it's called. And so what I mean by that is, if you're running Blazor WebAssembly on the client side, you will get a dependency injected transaction service that is implemented as if it was going to be running on a client, which is using a HTTP request to an API, which again is that Finan server project. But if you're running on the server, you are either the API or you are Blazor server. Why did you flash at me, computer? Did I break just now? My computer decided to crash Explorer suddenly. If you are running on the server, or you are like Blazor server, or you are the API, then you will do the actual process of adding the transaction to the database kind of thing. So that's what these are for. And of course, the localizations one should be self-explanatory. It's a place where you can add the localized strings for the application. And then the other thing that's really interesting to look at is how the UI is done. And so I write the UI once in Blazor. This is the main entry point for the UI. You can see that it is using the assembly of type of app, which would be this finan.man.blazor UI, for all of its routable pages. If I wanted to have specific routable pages in, for example, the Maui version that doesn't exist anywhere else, then I would need to make sure to add additional assemblies, but then that would put a dependency on that thing, and there's just a whole bunch of weird other stuff that would happen with circular dependencies. So instead, at that point, maybe the WP app or the Maui app would define their own app.razor and target that. But anyway, It also uses a default layout of main layout, which is here in shared main layout. And then the rest of the pages and components are contained within this library that aren't my own shareable components. So the shareable components, I decided to remake them from scratch just to keep practicing making components and see if I would have made them differently. But normally I would go to my GitHub repo and just reference these. So I've already put together a whole bunch of components that I like to reuse. This is a little stale currently. I need to do some work on it again to get them back up to speed. Okay. Anyway, so that is where the main entry for the Blazor components are, as well as, or for the Blazor UI is, as well as where all of the UI is put together. And so every single one of these applications, whether it is the Blazor WebAssembly's client side, pointing to app.razor from that Blazor component library, the Blazor server version, I'm waving to BitGamey since he has me on his little preview stream. Oh, my hand was way off camera. Do the wave. Do the wave. Oh, wow. That's a really recent clip he's showing. Distracted. It looked like I was shaking his stream. Oh, I was shaking on his stream. Let's do a shout out right back to BitGamey. So BitGamey is a fantastic game developer. He has a ton of interactive things on his stream that are just really fun to use and play with on his stream. And yeah, just hang out with him. He's a really cool guy. I can't say enough good things about him. On Mondays and Wednesdays, he streams his development of his game called Homeward Hound. And on Fridays, he streams a game called, streams developing a zombie game. It's his distracted day streaming. Wait. He's so distracting though. Okay, so yeah, you can see where I am rendering body. In host, rendering type of app, and then in the WPF and Maui and anything else that has a app.xaml or main window.xaml, pretty much, I'm using a WebView control, WebView 2 control, which is actually a Blazor WebView control that is an extension of WebView 2 to point it to the app in the Blazor component library. So write the UI once, use it in desktop, Android, iOS, Mac, ties into web. That was the whole point of doing this project that way. Just proving that we can run the same code everywhere. Ow. Why did you put me in both? That's weird. Okay, so that's how the project is put together. This is how it looks in practice. We're gonna do the WebAssembly version just because I think it's the most stable. I hope it's the most stable. And as you can tell, I like using .NET Watch when I'm doing development on Blazor applications just because Hot Reload tends to play nicer with .NET Watch. Please open here. Don't open in any of the other weird windows. Thank you. That was very kind of you. So this is what the app currently looks like. As you can see, we still have some, we were just testing things and messing around with stuff. This was actually from another cool streamer who has been streaming early in the morning for me. His name is Softisan Software. Whoops. Out. Softisan Software. I hate it when it does this. And so he works on Office add-ins using Blazor, which is so cool. So he was wondering, is there a way for us to have a JavaScript interop call from Blazor to JavaScript to have it then do another interop call from JavaScript to Blazor? And there were some weird things that were happening, so I was just messing with it and testing it out, and this just happened to be the app that was around. So I tested it in this app and found some interesting things. I don't remember what all happened, but we did. No! You're reminding us that VBScript is getting deprecated. Stop it. It's so sad. I miss VBScript. But hi, Juan Fun. Oh no, TVD Gamer's like, yes! Okay, so the application right now looks like it has login functionality, but this is just UI. This was to show that while the app is loading, you get the landing page right away while Blazor is still loading. And then when the Blazor WASM finishes downloading it and starts running the app, then it will display all of the WASM specific stuff. In .NET 8, we won't need to do that kind of a hack. We will just have our landing page be a static page with a login form. Oh no. What are we gonna do if we don't have to wait for the Blazor stuff to load? But this is intended to be a landing page, so you shouldn't have to wait for Blazor to load when you're just coming to a page to view static content, essentially. So we're going to play around with that when we start moving this to .NET 8. We will also have it do the auto rendering mode where it'll start off with Blazor Server if you haven't already cached the .NET runtime for this site. But that means that there is no way to get to the actual content of this site except by this link that I put down here. So if you are contributing to FinanMan, click on data entry to get to the main part of the site. And then this is the list of accounts that are being tracked. These are the 3 different types of transactions that I told you you could enter. And then this is for updating the items in the drop-down lists. And then there's also another way to add an account, which is terrible. So we are pretty much taking this completed application and redesigning it so that it looks like an actual application, because the intent of the application from the beginning was supposed to be, let's create a full-fledged product as if a client was approaching us and saying, we want you to develop this product for us, this website, this web application for us. And I started off okay. We started off with some design, some brainstorming, and decisions that we made, as well as putting together some options for which direction to go with. We ended up with this one. We followed this one, of course. Then instead of building out the design more and thinking about what would this look like in responsive modes, we just started coding. And of course, when I started coding, I started with the best intentions. I'm like, let's set up the project the way that I would normally set up a project. And just so that we have the example of how to use the same UI in multiple application types, let's go ahead and add the different application types too. And also, let's be good and write tests up front. Oh my gosh, was that a slog? I really wanted to start with test-driven design, and I was using BUnit to write the test. And so my first hurdle was, how do I use BUnit? And the cool thing was, while I was learning to use BUnit, Eagle Hansen, the creator of BUnit, was around in the streams kind of talking me through some things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So we did end up writing some pretty good tests. So some of these are just unit tests, and some of them are actually, don't I have one at least? I could have sworn I had one component test. Is it the calculator test? No, this was live coding. This was Peter. This was so good. He gave me one example and then we built from there. That was so much fun. But anyway, point is, I started trying to make the test and I got hung up on making a fake for the database, doing a mock for the database, and it was so hard. And I dropped it. I dropped the ball. I quit trying to write tests. I proved that we could write test for the transaction API, and I was like, that's enough for me. I showed that we can do tests. and then we went on and did the fun part of software development, which is writing actual code. So needless to say, we got the, not needless to say, we got the application up and running. It's working well. However, we don't have tests. At least not the tests, not the way that I wanted to have tests in the app from the beginning. We don't have designs, and the client's happy with the way that it works. This is our role play part now. The client is happy with the way that the application works. They're like, hey, it's functional. It did what we asked you to make it do. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate your work. We won't forget you. We'll call you up if we need more crappy looking UI, but functional stuff. We might call you back again. Thank you. Bye. So they didn't renew the contract. The client, which is me, didn't renew the contract with the contractor, which is me. And so they let him go. So we'll call you back if we have any more work. And then they hired a UI designer, which is me, and said, hey, we got this really cool app. It does everything that we want, but it looks ugly. And we didn't really have the heart to tell the previous developer that it was ugly. So would you mind creating a design for the application? So what we've been doing lately is Figma work as a UI designer to redesign the entire application. And we've gotten as far as having a couple options for the landing page's background and just what it should look like, some of the content in it, and maybe another example of what it looks like. So right now it looks pretty close to this. But as you can see, this Figma board, this design does not look like a UI designer was using it or making it. I'm guessing, I can't be sure of this, but I'm guessing that a real UI designer, which I am not, but I wanted to get better at it, a real UI designer would not just throw crap around like this and put it in random places and be like, it's organized. I know where everything is. This is where, yeah, and then get lost. So instead, what we are doing currently is moving this from this crappy, I even tried using Pages, put some of the components in here, and I had just learned to do components when I started putting this page together. but I put some components on a different page. Since this is the free version of Figma, I only had 3 total pages that I could use. I had a limited amount of designs that I could create, I think. And then there's also limitations on things like how many, I don't know, whatever these are called, how many color modes you can have, or how many variable modes you can have. And just a bunch of other stuff that's locked behind the at least the professional paywall. So that said, I never had any reason to upgrade to Figma paid version until now, where I am doing actual work in Figma, UI design for a customer, for a client, for the people that I'm supporting. So I decided to go ahead and get the Figma paid version. And so we're now moving all of these designs into a more appropriate, organized way. And so that's where we're at. And if you have any questions about the actual project itself, please let me know, but we won't be looking at much code for a while. If you're interested in seeing the development of the project itself, I've posted all of our VODs for it onto YouTube, and you can watch it from the beginning, but just a quick warning that, as you can tell, I do a lot more talking with you guys than I do work on the actual projects, because I really enjoy hanging out with you and just talking with you. I mean, I super duper enjoy writing code and getting stuff done, but the whole point of me streaming is so that I can connect with other developers that have opinions on things, learning their opinions, learning better ways to do things that I am trying to do, and just becoming a better developer. So yeah, so that's why there are over 200 sessions. They're 2-hour sessions each, with maybe about 15, anywhere between 15 and an hour and a half, 15 minutes to an hour and a half of actual development content, depending on the day. And then Fridays are community days where I'm just completely distracted and I just talk with you guys. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I will continue doing design today. I'm pretty sure we got all of the icons that were used in the current application. We just finished getting the trash can and the check mark last time. I'm pretty sure we have the pencil and the northeast southwest arrow and the X. Let's just double check. We got the X, northeast southwest arrow, check marks, pencil, trash cans. I really need like a symbol to use for money in general, because like right now you see that my designs have dollar signs, but this could be an app used internationally, so there's no reason for me to use a specific currency symbol when I'm developing the app. But maybe for simplicity's sake, I just leave it as dollar symbols, as US dollar symbols, just so we can actually do some design work. Because otherwise I'll get hung up on, this shouldn't be a dollar sign, this should be something else. But yeah, so this is where we're at. Oh, I guess I should also mention this. Because of the type of person I am, where I'm like, we're gonna stick to being specifically a UI designer and do everything in Figma, I had some struggles with imagining what this actually would look like and how to proceed forward. So we land on the page and it's full sized. We scroll down a little bit and the header squishes but keeps the content showing as the user scrolls down until they scroll down far enough to where it starts going into the header row. So I wanted it to disappear. And I was like, what would that actually look like? And I had to see it. So I did go ahead and say that our designer, what's the word I'm looking for? Retconned. I retconned this into the story Our designer does have some HTML and CSS skills. Not very much JavaScript skills, but definitely HTML and CSS. Did I put this in Betterkitty? Does anyone remember what I was doing this work in? No, I don't even have an account using this one. So yeah, it's on my main CodePen account, which I think is this one. Does anyone know? Yes, it is. Okay, so here it is. So I went ahead and mocked this up. I'm like, let's put it all together using only HTML and CSS, no JavaScript whatsoever. Retcon scope creep, true, so true. But here is pretty much the design that we currently have. And you can see that as I'm scrolling down, I'm making the hero section start to squish and disappear behind the header until we get to the next section. I also wanted to see what the sections look like. It looks like I don't want the scroll bar to be the same color as the primary background because that's just confusing looking. Yeah. I just really don't like that in Chrome you can't have the background of a div go behind, or sorry, just a div in general go behind the full page scroll bar, which is really annoying. So I have this little gutter right here that I don't know how to get rid of at the moment, but I'm not worried about that because that's for the developer to figure out. I am a designer. So what I would like to do then is continue our journey in doing the Figma portion of this the right way, the way that I have found to be best practices so far. Number one thing that I learned is having a cover page. The first page in your Figma board, in your Figma design file, is your cover page, tells you what the file is for, some description about the thing that it's the design for. Then you can also right click on that thing and say uses default, or uses thumbnail, uses default, but I already have. So now when I look here, I can see it. I can see it on the stream team right here. And also, as you can see, I created another team that has only the free version of Figma in case there is anything that I do learn about Figma that I want to show, and have it shown in a way where even if you only have a free Figma account, you could do it yourself as well. But for now, we're going to continue on with this. Okay, so cover page. And then this little trick here is just to section off different pages. Since there are no like page groups, you can't like, the same thing you can do in variables, for example. You can group things together. If I select these, right click, group, or ungroup at the moment, then they get grouped and nested over and over and over until, I don't know how deep these nests can go, but until forever and a day. Okay. So anyway, using this kind of thing with a blank page to separate, you could probably even get creative and be like, components. Following pages are the blah. Something to describe what's coming up next. And then app screens describe what app screens are, blah. But I just leave them empty because that seems like even more work than I'm already doing. So this is definitely where we're at. We're changing the themed color variables to color styles, which is incorrect because I did some research on this afterwards, and it wasn't even that I did research actually. It was that I started creating a style and I called it primary text dark theme or something. And then I made it primary text dark theme. And I got some kind of message. I don't remember what it was or how I got that message, but I got a message essentially saying you shouldn't be using styles for variables. Since you're just setting a color, this should be a variable and not a style. A style is a combination of properties to be applied to things. So for example, this could be a color from our library, but also overlaid with something else on top of it to modify it in some way. I really don't remember how I got that to show up or why it showed up, but it did. Juice. So anyway, this is incorrect. Instead, what I'm wanting to do is, instead of having a whole bunch of different collections, the thing that I found out that I liked more, and again, I'm just developing this as I go. If anyone does have the right way or a better way or more standard practice, just let me know. Do not be afraid to just be like, that's just wrong. I have no problems with that. But what I ended up liking that I did in my work product that I'm currently doing is putting all of my colors in one collection, like every possible color that I could use ever. And that's going to be in one collection that is shared with my entire organization. Every possible color ever. Then have a themes collection that has not only just one of the themes, but every possible theme that I might come up with. So let's say that I come up with a theme that is very specific to automated realms. Then that would be in here as a collection, and it would probably be a duplicate of an existing theme with different colors added. What that means though, is every time that I add a new variable, I would want to do that for every theme. So here you can see that I have an app background, and that points to, oh, I did that wrong. That points to, there we go. The named colors collection and a specific color from that named colors collection. And so that specific color is named colors, sorry, it's color palettes collection, but named colors group. That color is charcoal, because that's not just one of these shaded colors. So these, what I did for the, let's just go to it. Let's just go to it. This one, colors. What I did for the colors is I picked a, I did the rainbow, and there's probably, I can see a different approach that I want to do with this, but I chose to make shades for every color of the rainbow, every named color of the rainbow, have that named color be the 500 mark, and then it gets lighter to the left of it and darker to the right of it. And so there's a lot of colors that look very, very similar between like indigos and violets, for example. Yes, very nice, Duke is soft. Awesome. So that's what's here. Colors of the rainbow. They shine so bright every time I look into you. So Roy G. Biv. Then, because we didn't have any grayscale colors, I said I want some neutral colors because you have transparent in the rainbow, but not really every color and the absence of color. So I made for the lights, I made white be the very far left, and then that gets darker to a certain point, and that point should be, and I need to adjust this once I figure out what the actual value is, but this point here I intend to be the darkest color where black would be the would have enough contrast on it so that it's still accessible. And then the starting color here would be the first color, the first shade of gray, where white has a big enough contrast. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So thank you so much for answering for me, Emporium. Juan Van asked, what app is this? So this app itself is called Figma, and it is a great tool for designing UI. There are other tools out there. One of them that I do want to explore eventually is called Wizard. And the reason that I want to explore this one is because I'm not a designer. I want to do good at designing, but this uses AI, of course, because everything uses AI. To generate a UI. And of course you need to sign up and blah, 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 blah. And I thought that you're already aware of this, TBD. So I learned about this from Solo Solipsist. So shout out to him real quick. Solo Solipsist is a developer who works in mixed reality, and he does a lot of AI type stuff currently. So he has an avatar of himself that he scanned using, I can't remember, but he pretty much made a life-size avatar of himself and then hooked it up to ChatGPT, and you can ask it questions and it responds using Whisper or the other one. What one of the voice generation programs, text-to-speech programs that takes any text and makes it sound natural in his own voice. If you haven't been swarmed by the AI flock, you're probably in a cave or still using VB script. Very true, Juan. But anyway, he told me about this. I want to use it, but first I want to see how far I can get with learning. Learning the way that I learn, which is watching YouTube video after YouTube video of people giving tips and tricks on how to use Figma on various UI design things. So that's how I learned CSS. One of my go-tos was Traversy Media. And yeah. He has great content, but I don't like his personality. which is very true about a lot of the people that I learned from on YouTube. Amazing content. You have a really crappy personality though. So hopefully I'm not that terrible. I don't want to be that person, but I probably come across as that, especially with my pickiness on personality types, but information is information. So anyway, point is, all of my colors are here. I realized that doing this doesn't give me the colors that I want. So the other thing would be to make some kind of like, I'd probably have to zoom out this far to see all of it, but DuPont color chart or Pantone color chart or Adobe color chart that has every possible color, or the web color chart, like the safe for web colors, which I'm sure that there are tons. Web safe colors. Anyway, I'm sure that there are a bunch of plugins that already exist. that can help with creating a color palette or just having all of the colors in general. But I really did want to have all of the possible colors that I would use throughout any application that I design in one library. So that's what this is. And then I defined every single one of these colors as a color variable. So all of my reds from left to right. I heard someone saying something about not liking the shading values because they seem pretty arbitrary. They seem arbitrary to me too, but I didn't know what else to call them. This is just how it came out. But from 50 to 900. And then I was like, there's still colors that currently exist in the app that I have not defined up there. So I'm going to name some colors that I am going to use more often. So I looked up their canonical names. I don't even remember what I used to find them. And then I picked the ones that were closest or just sounded the coolest, like Shadow White. And I named those. Dodger Boo, Dress Boos, because when I started creating my themes, these were pretty much the only colors that I ended up using. Like maybe there's one or two from up here for like warning and danger, but I pretty much only use these. Okay. Enough about RMA. We'll get to RMA work as soon as I'm done with the UI stuff. We will do real software development on this channel again, not just made up projects that I want to be treated like real yay! That I want to be treated like real development projects, but stuff that I am doing for pay, for work. So you can see the life of a developer. And drink more water. Thank you. Told you I talk way too much and do too little. Oh man. Okay, so here we are. Oh, I wanted to be in here because I wanted to remake my color variables the way that I just said I want to. I want my light theme. I want my light theme to be in the same tab as my dark theme. So that's what this is. Yeah, that is what this is. So I'm going to go ahead and create my light theme colors. So I'm going to steal this one. Oh man, and moving stuff around is not fun, especially libraries. Variables, whatever. If you need to move your variables into a new project or into a new design, you pretty much are starting over from scratch. Okay, so like I said before, this is how I would create a new theme. I would take an existing theme that I have already put together, duplicate it, rename it, and then if there are any additional variables that I need to define, such as in toggle background stuff, so toggle button colors, which I don't already have defined, and I would create a new variable for it. Oops. We'll just leave it as FFF for now so that I can create a new group. Name it toggle button colors. And then switching back and forth and back and forth. And this is the part that annoys me because it's like, can I just copy it from here? I just want to copy this entire variable and paste it into here. I'm copy multiple and paste it into here. You know? That would be nice. And I guess I haven't looked it up, so for anyone saying just look it up, I will. Thank you for reminding me. Fun. Oh my gosh, so hard to remember where things are. Like mode. And finally, the toggle thumb. Which is just oops. Teams. Okay, and like you saw, which I will do with this, I also like to group maybe a little too granular, but like these two are specific to text. So I'm going to create a new group for text. This one is specific to background. Maybe I'll have other general background colors. Oops, no, that stays the same name. Now there is one more thing that I've been avoiding talking about as far as variables, and that is this thing here, which I did want to experiment with, but this is called color modes. And so what I could do, instead of what I just did, where I created an entire new group that was a duplicate of the previous, is I could create a color mode. Note that this is only available in the paid version of Figma. But if I did, I could call this color mode light and this color mode dark. Change the values here. And then when I use that color somewhere, I have, well, let's just put it in a new frame. Sumimasen. Yeah, it's still going to be called dark mode. I have this new thing here that says change variable mode, themes dark. So then that would automatically change all of the variables inside of this frame to dark. So let's say that instead of purple 1 being this color, it's going to be this color in light. Yeah, let's just invert them. Okay, so there is our inverted light. When I let's put something else inside. Another frame. And we will make that one have a background color of opposite, purple 2. Then if I switch this to light, oops, that was just that one, the whole frame, to light, then that should invert both. So everything inside of that, the element that you have selected will apply the same color mode throughout the whole thing. And you can find where that would be beneficial for easily putting together a light and dark mode. So we'll say that this is what this thing looks like in light mode. We'll duplicate it. Oops. Oh my gosh. Duplicate it. And then we'll say this one's going to be dark mode. And then all I should have to do is change this to dark. And now we have the dark mode version visualized. I think I like that. think I like that. The problem would be, of course, coming up with a color theme for both. So right now for the financial management tracker app, we only have a dark mode. There is no such thing as light mode because light mode should never exist. Although I think I told you on Friday, maybe, that I learned for the first time that one person out of all of the people that use the RMA apps, one person prefers light mode to the dark mode. It's like, what? And they have to like purposefully choose light mode because I default the apps to dark mode. I use red mode. Like if you were to go to any of our app pages that, oh yeah, I guess you would have to go to one that starts in, that doesn't go to the default authorization UI. But if I had never been to this app, then it would default to dark mode is what I'm trying to get at. Forget you, app. Hello, Foolish Snabble. Hope you're having a great, fantastic start of your day, week, whatever. Okay, so I think I am gonna go with this. Can I change your order after creating it? I can't. Once you create a new mode, it stays in that column order. It's like there's so many things about this that don't make sense. You can move the window, you can resize it, but you can't resize this panel. You can't resize the columns. You can't change the order of the columns. Why? Okay, let me get all of these. Toggle into dark. And actually, at that point in, at that point in time, I won't even need groups in here. I could still. Maybe. So this would be the equivalent of my color palette here. So my color palettes, which means that I really do want this in its own color palettes thing. And since I already know, but I don't have these purples in there. I was gonna say, since I already did the work for adding the colors to the color palettes, I do have them here though. Okay, I'm getting rid of this one. Like Pontiac used to use red everywhere, did they? We are driving excite. Was that them? Variable collection. Just talking about these. That was them. Okay. Okay. So these I don't need these anymore because I have those in colors. And this, I wanted to grab some dark color and put it in colors. I'm gonna group these together, which they are already grouped. What? No, they're not. So I think I've run into this before, and the way that I got around it was I created a new variable, created a new group for that variable by pushing the wrong buttons, moved it out to its own, called it rainbow, and each just to show the mistake that I made before so that you can learn it too, each group inside of a collection needs to have at least one variable. So if you delete the variable, the last variable for that group, it also deletes the group. So don't delete the temp variable until you've done all of the moving of stuff where you want it to be. And there's this, and now I can delete that. Okay, so there's my rainbow. Ampersand. Then I want a new group again. And that's going to be my temporary for grouping it into named colors. And the first color is going to be some dark color because I still haven't named it. 000F. Okay. Then in teams, everywhere that I'm using, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the dark theme real quick, so that when I do this, I'll just duplicate. Aka words. I actually have that in blacks. Nice. So the rainbow that I used here is not shades, it's specific colors. But yeah, for now I'm gonna use my named color for that. Which is terrible because in my rainbow, in my neutrals, interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just add them here. And my off-white is this. Still have my Grand Am from 2000. Whoa. We have a car that we've owned since 2013, I think. Which I think I'm finally going to be able to change out for a new vehicle eventually. It's just all the things keep happening to the cars that I'm like, ooh, what is that one? That's probably the one that I want to get. For example, the BYD Seal that is not available in the US and will never be available in the US. And then the VW ID7 that was supposed to be released in the US sometime summer 2024. And on last Wednesday, they announced, well, it's going to be delayed. It can be with enough money. Yeah, no thanks. I would prefer not to have to spend gobs of money. So allow me to augment that and say, I would like for these vehicles to just be available in my area without needing to jump through a hoop. Good point, though. And hello, Jacob. Lecruck? 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 Jacob. Hi. Do I have any other named colors? Yeah. That is not orange. Who told this kid that that's orange? Find a random guy with a boat, sneak it in, go all 007 on it. That would be nice. Because I really do, like, for being someone that doesn't care about cars all that much, where I just want a car that gets me from point A to point B, I sure do spend a lot of time looking at the style of cars and the specs on the cars, and yeah, trying to find the right car for me with all of the features and looks that I want. Just laughing at myself, that's all. I'm happy with that as orange. Sure. Okay, where were those purple 1, 2, 3, 4? I need to create a new variable in here. Just call it violet. And I want to move these to named colors. Ooh, thank you for telling us, BitGamey. So for those of you that are interested in seeing Balint's cross-country, or I have no idea how far he's going. I think it's just East Coast stuff. Real life stuff. He is live as of 7 minutes ago-ish. AKA Science Streams, by the way. Let's do a quick shout out. Okay, see you later, Dukasov. Thank you so much for being here today. Stream is almost over anyway, but yeah. We're gonna pick a random purple color and call it violet. Yes, look at that, that's violet. It could, Juan Van was saying back to Jacob, I can drop a boat off at your location. And Jacob's like, I'm in Nevada. We don't have water. Or anywhere. Colorado is really starting to feel like what I imagine Nevada feels like. Nevada. And then Juan Van's like, it could be an Airbnb. No engine, so the whole deck is free to dance on. Perfect for Burning Man. Oh. Okay, did I do the thing? I think I did the thing. So now we can do our color modes. Here is light. Here is dark. Do I want to do dark first or light first? I want to do dark first. Why? Number 1, everything should default to dark mode. Number 2, alphabetical. Take your pick. Choose your poison. Did I lock this somehow? I think I might have locked this. No, I just wasn't selecting it. Okay. So we have that set up. With that in mind, you are button primary background. Button primary background comes from, oh, can I get rid of this now? Yes, I can get rid of this now. Let's delete this collection, clean things up. Button primary background will have a, oh, that was wrong. Colors does not get a light and dark. My bad. Colors only has 1. Oops, just value. Only has 1 set of thingies. In my themes collection, that's where we have dark and light. Okay, so for my button primary background, this is why I like grouping things together. This is in button colors. So if we do button primary border and outline, those go together in my mind. Borders, outlines. And I did create in my previous one something that I think I'm gonna continue everywhere. I created a what did I call it? I can't think of what I called it, but in essence, it's the darker version of the background and the lighter version of the background. So it's like faint versus saturated or something. I can't remember. But anyway, two versions of the border. I meant to say border, not background. Two versions of the border, two versions of the outline. And you can see here that because I deleted these colors, it's now like, I don't know what colors those are. So I need to point it back to purple 4, which is a named color. And it's easier if you just type purple 4. And then border, I would like to also be from my library to be border color, which I don't have border color yet. So we're just going to make it white, apparently. Which again is actually a named color. Oh, geez. Did you see that? That might not be good. I think by default, I shared this with every single group. Is that what you guys are called? Like this thing here is called a team. Oh, they're called projects. Can I rename you? Okay. I think while I was just testing stuff out, while I was publishing these, for example, there was an option to always have this library available to the entire team. And since I wanted to use the paid account for this, is on the same team as my RMA work, I'm getting that by default. That said, I'm gonna do this. This is going to be called Stream Project Colors. I'm gonna get rid of the rainbow and have only named colors for this one, because I already have all of the rainbow colors defined elsewhere. That said, I need this to be local only and then do white, which I only have off-white. Sure, we'll do off-white. But didn't I? Oh yeah. There's one other UI quirk, which is when you expand this thing, if for whatever reason it goes above, which now it's not going to go above anymore at all, is it? That's annoying. Go up. Okay. If it expands up, if you hover here, and that happens to be where the selection is, let me scoot it up just a little more so you can see it. Then you actually get the resize cursor, because pointer events are going through and grabbing the edge of this thingy instead of stop propagation for hover. Anyway, just pointing that out. It's a thing. It's a thing. I guess at this point, I probably can Why do I keep pushing delete when you can't delete stuff? Okay. Redo. Okay. What I think I would prefer to do at this point is delete my duplicate colors, and I will go ahead and use the RMA colors. And then if there is an RMA color that I have not defined that I want to use in this app, then I'll define it for this app only. And there you go. So that is what I will be doing when we come back on Wednesday. I will finish updating all of our color variables, make sure that these are pointing to our new color variables, because as I have been deleting stuff, apparently I haven't been deleting. Oh, okay. So as I have been deleting stuff, I've been breaking the link between the actual variable and the usage of that color. This is where I would want to make sure I'm only using local colors, because I do have toggle thumb background defined in the RMA one, and I want it to be different in this app than in the RMA apps, because it has a completely different color scheme in this app. I don't want it to be these blues and grays. But this would be toggle background off. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I could select all of these and update them all at this. Oh no, I wouldn't, because this is toggle background off. Oh, in which case I would, yeah, that's going to make this so much easier. Okay, so the thing that I just realized, I need to go, but the thing that I just realized is now I only need one copy of these colors. So what I did before is I had a dark group in my themes, a dark theme group, and I would have to pick either the light mode when I was showing the light mode component variant, or dark mode if I was using the dark mode component variant. But here, I only need one of the variants, or one of the color definitions. So all of the color thumbs will be the same color thumb, or thumb color, or whatever I called it. Toggle background on will be the same color for all of them, and toggle background off will be the same color for all of them. Wait. Why did that change you? Your toggle background. What are you doing? You should be off, on. Then for my dark mode side, because I still want to be able to pick the color theme for a given component, then I could simply just say, I want you to be dark, and I want you to be hard to click. Light. But now knowing that the container component will be the thing that defines whether my variables are using the light mode or the dark mode, do I really want to do that? Yes, because I want to visualize each of the components individually. No, because I don't want to have to duplicate components. So, in short, I only want one copy of the component. And I want it to be auto. I don't want to have to create a component for every theme, because we can visualize that by making an instance of it and then changing it to the mode that I want, which means that you will no longer have a theme property. I like that a lot. We're going with that. And that's what I'm going to do to this next. Because look at all of these components where I am making both the light and dark versions of them. Left side is light, right side is dark. Left side is light, right side is dark. Light, dark. Light, dark, light, dark. You can see where I'm duplicating a lot of stuff and doing a lot more work than I need to, unless there is actually going to be some variation between them where I'm not using the same color variable for the theme. But in all cases, I will be using the same color variable because that's how I write my CSS. Anyway, that's it. That was the magic. We are done for the day. I'm going to get back to work. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you being here. Yeah, it does get to be a little fun after a while. After that initial slog, it starts getting more and more fun as I learn more. So hopefully it's not frustrating to you. Although you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be here, so I'm not even going to say that. Thank you again for being here. We're going to raid out. Like I said, Science Streams is doing an IRL stream. He's walking on a beach. It's perfect to see right now. It's not even any kind of software development stuff, but he's walking on a beach, man. I love the water. So anyway, we're heading over there. Again, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back on Wednesday. Until then, Dukasoft posted this earlier, but I'm going to repost it. Exclamation point YouTube. I will post the VOD for this stream to YouTube sometime between now and next year. And feel free to join our Discord. If you're already a part of way too many Discords, I understand you do not have to join it at all, but we do have a lot of really cool people there that are willing to answer questions from newbie to technical, and also other people that do have questions that they pose in there that you may want to answer, and then just overall general stuff, talking about tech, etc. But yeah, until the next time, I will see you whenever you're back around. Enjoy. Ciao for now. Juice. Slalom.